Join Gator great Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It's a live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios, locations across the state of Florida, right there at Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. Valentine's is this weekend. Swing on by International Diamond Center, pick you up a bracelet or a ring or something like that. Comfort Temp Heating and Air is your number one local HVAC company. Visit us at comforttemp.com. We got JC today. We have Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. Lots to talk about on campus. If you missed it last night, game kind of went how I anticipated. Seahawks, the better team, best defense I've seen in the NFL, maybe since the 85 Bears. That good. JC, you're on the Titan Number Hotline. Of Comfort Temp.
I thought that golf tournament was really good yesterday. I don't know.
It was phenomenal.
If you watched poor Hideki, he couldn't get his driver right. And
I didn't mean to interrupt you, JC, but I'm glad you brought that up because I totally forgot about the golf. I watched it. I even watched it before I think I missed like the kickoff or something of the NFL game.
Yeah. Well,
I've never seen a pro golfer struggle hitting his driver and not kind of getting it fixed in the middle of the round like Hideki, man. I've never seen anybody hit so many damn hooks.
Yeah, he only needed one drive. That's it. You hit it in the fairway, you win. Even three would have maybe been a better try because you could then have just hit an extra iron into that green and made par. He had to make a par. He really kind of blew it on 17 by not birdieing that hole because that's a birdie hole. You can drive it. So that was too bad for him. And then got her up. I think, is this the second win of the already?
Yeah. Who picked him, by the way?
One of us did. Yeah, that's three picked winners for us.
I should have played the lottery this weekend.
I tell you, well, it was
or whenever the lottery is because I don't play it. But I got her up to win. I picked the Gators to just destroy A&M.
A&M, yeah.
I picked the Seahawks in a big win. So
well, it was all good win. It was all good gambling weekend for us, QB. I mean, the games went very well. The Florida basketball game was just, as you said, it was just an absolute mismatch in terms of, material on the floor, personnel. This was not a game. I mean, Texas A&M, you get their fans in that building, and they're singing like they're in some sort of religious gathering, and they're waving back and forth like this, and there's supposed to be a real intimidating environment. And the Florida guys just were waiting for the ball to get thrown up in the air. It was a blowout. I love it when Klafchar hits his threes. It just makes the world spin right. And Florida just has no issues whatsoever playing teams that they can just handle underneath the basket. And you got Georgia coming up next. Georgia had a nice win against LSU. This will be probably a better game than the Texas A&M game.
It will. Florida, they match up better.
They do, and so there's a little bit more of that. But, it was a good weekend all along. We hit some props. We'll talk about that tomorrow on Win with JC with Zach. Obviously, I took the Seahawks minus the 4.5, also took a minus 6.5. So I bumped those numbers up just to get more odds because that game never, to me, was in doubt. I never thought – we talked about this for 2 weeks, QB. In fact, we didn't really even talk about it that much. This was not going to be a game that you would be – I know it's highly anticipated, but it was not one that – I thought really presented a very good matchup, and New England was just out of sorts. Their defense in Seattle, I think the Rams are the only team that can really that scores on them because like the Ravens of 2000 and the Bears of 85 and the Giants of 86, they just dominate you up front. And a four-man rush, QB, a four-man rush got home all night long.
Yeah, so, the Seahawks, they zone blitz more than they have the entire year. And what that does is it makes you it forces you to throw your hot routes, but then they have a defender in that zone waiting to make the tackle. They're an elite defense. I thought the Patriots offensive line was overwhelmed. I know Drake May didn't play great. A lot of it, he made some bad decisions here and there, but he was harassed I mean, I saw a stat where the Patriots give it up. I mean, it's crazy amount, like 30 something sacks in the playoffs.
That's bad.
Yeah, their O-line is not very good.
Well, they got the breaks when I think Bo Nix goes out on the last play of their playoff game the week before, and the snow hits Denver like a blizzard. And really, I think New England just got some lucky breaks to even be in that game. But they had a good season. Let's be honest, Mike Vrabel, coach of the year. But I don't know if they ever had a shot in this game. And I think the line was way off, and it was an easy pick. Easy pick.
Dan says, "Go Gators" from Edna.
Yeah.
Edina. It's either Edna or Edina, Minnesota. How do you pronounce it? Edina?
Edina.
Edina, Minnesota. It sounds cold.
Oh my God.
Andy on Facebook Live says, "Do you think Drake May was hurt?" Well, he was reported he didn't throw the ball like he normally does. I think he has a shoulder injury. He got shot up for sure, but look, even if he was healthy, it wouldn't have mattered. The better team won.
Yeah, they really did, and I just had to laugh at some of the analysis that I was listening to before the Super Bowl about how New England was going to do this, New England was going to do that. I said, if you guys even watch Seattle this season, the way they play, it doesn't matter where they play or who they play. Defensively, they overwhelm you. The only team, like I said, that really had success against the Seahawks was the Rams.
Christopher corrected me. It wasn't 30 sacks. It was 17 sacks that they gave up. John on Facebook Live brought to you by Mel also. For all the criticism that our guards get, they played good on Saturday night. They broke the press consistently and played really good defense. Thought our guards were outstanding. I tell you what I did. I will tell you this. The first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, JC.
Yeah.
I was pissed off. I am like, why are we breaking the press and setting up half-court offense? Take the ball to the freaking rim when you break, because when you break the press in basketball, it's very simple. And when a team plays you cover zero, throw it over their heads. So we started throwing it over their heads on the press and got a ton of dunks. But I thought it was well played, and we really attacked the rack late in the first half and started the second half.
Yeah,
they had no chance. I'm telling you, it was like a middle school team against a high school team because they have no size, zero.
Yeah, it's just blowout central.
All right, we got a couple of texts for
you. Blowouts
for us. Text line, JC. Not sure who this is. Oh, this is Chris in Mayaca. He says, ask Corndog if he saw enough cover 6 last night.
I saw a lot of problems for New England. Drake May didn't know where to go with the football. So
they ran a lot of from what I could tell on TV, they ran a lot of zone, one high blitz, cover 3 zone blitz, and they ran a lot of cover 2 zone blitz. But they don't blitz normally. Here's what they did.
They had a 4-man rush.
They saw something on tape that they knew from a protection standpoint was going to give New England problems, because you don't come out in the Super Bowl and blitz a lot, because if you do blitz a lot, you may give up opportunities of some big plays. But they saw something that was going to force, by his rules, force Drake May to throw the hot route. And if not, they would get home. And they got home, and he threw the hot route. They'd catch it. They'd tackle him for 2 yards. So very good game.
Well, QB, I think I remember saying Sean McDermott in week 15 locked up Drake May, made him rush, ruined his timing, and that was seen on tape by the following week with the Ravens, the way they handled him. And then, and listen, they scored a lot on Baltimore that day. But the only reason New England beat Buffalo in week 15 was because Henderson ran for 1,000,000 yards. May had no chance. And I think that's what Seattle saw. Seattle just zoned them up, and there was absolutely nothing there for Drake May, and he was getting harassed by that 4-man rush.
Right, and if you get harassed by a 4-man rush, that means your offensive line ain't very good.
It's not good.
And I thought New England's line was pathetic. Honestly,
they just got run over, didn't they? I mean, it just was kind of a mismatch. It really was.
Rick from Jupiter on the Titanmore text line says, now that football's over, what are the next 2 sports you find yourself watching the most? Mine is softball and golf.
I'm going to watch college basketball, a lot of that, and absolutely.
Well, I'll watch that as well. I kind of don't count that as like a spring sport.
You don't?
No, because we started it in the winter.
Okay. Well,
I mean, we started in November, I think.
yeah, March Madness on the calendar does seem to fall closer to spring, but I think that Florida is clearly established as the best team in the SEC. That Duke North Carolina game was good too, but I still think Duke's a better team. I did say, listen, I said Duke, I said Florida, said UConn and Arizona, and I left out Michigan, but I may have to throw Michigan somehow in there as 4A. They blew out Ohio State over the weekend. They're great talent. So they're a very good team as well. It's going to be a great tournament in March. Great tournament. I don't know. I mean, did you watch any of that Duke North Carolina game?
I watched a little bit of it. It's amazing to me how Duke blew that lead.
They did. They just blew it, but they'll beat them in Durham. I still think they're a much better team than Carolina, but give Carolina credit. Yeah, I mean, they came back, won the game with a 3-pointer at the end. So
you're leaving out the Houston Cougars. Don't leave them out.
no, I see that, and they did me very nicely that Saturday night against BYU. I do see the Houston Cougars as another athletic, great team, but you can only put 4 in, QB.
Well, you've given us like 12 teams.
I've given you 4 plus.
Okay, who
1,
are your final 4? Give me your final 4 right now.
I just told you 30 times. I said Duke, Florida.
Well, you said,
Arizona,
I may throw
UConn.
Michigan in there. They may do this. I may do this team.
Okay, 4 teams. I said Duke, Florida, UConn, and Arizona. And I think Arizona is the best of the 4. But we'll see. It doesn't mean they're going to win. But those are the 4. Those are the 4. Duke, UConn, Arizona, and the Florida Fighting Gators.
Yeah, Florida's a really good basketball team.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. They're hard to deal with.
John wants you on Facebook Live to break down the 2 halftime shows.
Well, I only watched one, and I didn't watch much of it. I actually got up and did some things around the house, but I turned on the YouTube show with Lee Bryce. Turned on Lee Bryce, the Gabby Barrett, and Kid Rock, of course. And I
Brantley Gilbert was on that too.
Brantley started it up, but I just prefer my when I watch something, I like to understand what's being said. I like the English language first. I prefer the English language over one I don't understand, and I don't need to see some guy waving some flag of some island down the Caribbean. It's not something that bothers me. It's just something I need to do. So I watched the one that fewer people watched because it was on a streaming channel. So that's what I watched, QB. Did you watch one of the 2 great halftime shows?
I was doing stuff as well as you, and but I did watch the Brantley Gilbert, Gabby Barrett.
It was easy.
Whatever, all those people. Yeah, that's my kind of music. So
yeah. I mean,
that's what I listen to on a daily basis.
I think folks that want to listen to a guy sing in Spanish the whole time, they're into a different vibe of some sort, whatever it is, and that's fine. I
saw some clips of it this morning on
I don't want to
one
watch
of the news channels, and I mean, I can see how people enjoyed it if you like that kind of music.
Mm-hmm.
It just looked like there was a million people just doing the salsa dance to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't understand a word that was going on. Like I said, I just saw the highlights of it.
Yeah. Halftime shows really have never been my thing anyway. They last 45 minutes, and I go out and so if I'm at a party during a halftime show, I'm over there babbling with other people. And last night I had my youngest son and my wife was here, my dog, and we talked about what's going on in his world. And then I rearranged some of the plants in the back, went out in the garage, cleaned up some things, took the garbage out because today's pickup day. Just did things like that.
Yeah, because I don't even when the Gators play at halftime, we go and I talk to some of the media boys in the little collection area. Now, it's nothing against the college bands because I'm a huge band guy. I like the pregame stuff better than the halftime show.
Yeah, me too.
Bands.
Me too. Yeah,
I live for that pregame stuff, man.
Yeah,
our band and the opposing team stuff. Cool. I love that.
Yeah, and then you get your team that they'll play the fight song of the other team that's visiting that day for about 20 seconds. I think it's all great. It just gets the game really warmed up. The bands are so important. I agree with you, bro.
Yeah. You have Gators on YouTube wants to talk golf. Speaking of golf, on Wednesday, we'll have Coach J.C. Deacon. This weekend coming up, they host the Gator Invitational. There'll be tons of teams. I think defending champ Oklahoma State will be here.
Oh, nice.
Actually, Notre Dame was here this past weekend. I think they're
Yeah.
going back down south and coming back because they
Uh,
slowed the damn golf course up this weekend. Let's put it that
they
way.
slowed it up.
The damn Fighting Irish could not handle putting on the green.
They didn't know
They were
what
running at 14 this weekend,
They
JC.
had no idea what they were running into. Well, they don't get to play golf in Indiana, and so you have
I
to
know.
travel great distances. And then you see greens like that, and you don't know what you're doing.
Oh my gosh, they were so fast. And I putted them well though. Mike says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melody, did they even do the national anthem last night? They did. I don't even know who that person that sang it.
Yeah,
Some dude was playing the piano and singing it.
yeah, I guess I'm just old fashioned, but I'm more into the football aspect of this whole event. I know there's a lot going on though. I know it's a celebrity. Next year it's going to be in Los Angeles, so it's going to be even more pomp and circumstance than it is perhaps about the game. I'm more into the game. I just want to see the game. But the game was, I think, 2 weeks ago, I determined this game was not going to be that much to watch. Let's just be honest. It was boring as hell. It was boring as hell.
I really liked it, Jason. I'm an offensive guy. I thought the defenses were outstanding. I mean, like phenomenal. That's, they made a comment on there. I think it was Mike Tirico that, what was this?
You like 7 punts, QB? You got it?
No, listen. He said out of the playoffs this year, what, 14 teams get in?
Yeah.
I think he said 9 or 10 of the top defenses in the NFL got into the playoffs. I'm butchering this stat, but I heard that. It's like, you know what? That has not been like that in the past few years. It's been so much offense. And I don't know. I love X's and O's, and I just thought both defenses were incredible in that game.
I thought the punting was great too.
And
actually, Seattle's punter was great. He stuck him down. He stuck him down in there. But
honestly, I thought Jason Myers should have been the MVP.
He could have been, but Kenneth Walker was the MVP QB. 170 some odd combined total.
I know that. But hell, he made five field goals.
Let's talk about Kenneth Walker for just a minute. Let's see. Kenneth Walker. The over receiving yards of 23 and a half. It started at 21 and a half. He ended up with 26 or 7. That came in. We had Travion Henderson's rushing and receiving coming on the last play of the game. Drake May over 6 rushing yards. Kenneth Walker plus 600 as the MVP. The Seahawks minus 4.5. I picked 31-17. You picked 24-10. And it was whatever it was. It was a blowout.
29-13.
29-13. Yeah. And then we had, both quarterbacks going over their pass completion numbers. Sloppy, garbage time at the end of the game gets you those props in a big way because they just dink and dunk down the field and it all counts. But there was no doubt. It was a no doubter that the Seahawks were going to be the Super Bowl champion in my mind.
Yeah, MSRK makes a great point here on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. That's why the Rams weren't there. They're terrible.
Yeah, that is.
They were the best team.
That is a true statement. The Rams gave away, I think, 2 or 3 games this season. They should have had home field, but they really did give away a lot of football games. And I know they feel bad about it, and that's why Matt Stafford is going to come back for one more season. Because he thinks and they think with the Super Bowl in LA, they can get to that game. We'll see. I think they'll be one of the 3 favorites for next year to get to that game, but they have to clean it up with the special teams. 100% right. As for golf, you wanted to talk about golf real quick. Next week, it's going to be at Pebble Beach. So we get all that scenery and all those fun holes that we're all used to seeing. Smallest greens on tour, as you said before. I think last week you said that. But this Gator kid, this guy has won twice already. He loves playing out west, I suppose, but he really just fell on the scene late last season, and now he's just come through. But Hideki helped him. Hideki flat out helped him by hitting a driver into the church pews, and then
that was an easy shot. His second shot, I cannot believe
it. He hit the lip.
Yeah, I can't believe that was an easy shot.
Yeah, he didn't get it on the green, and he had to wedge it up there, miss the putt. So Goddard is the winner. He made the putt on that same very hole in sudden death. So good pick by you. You get the win there. Is that your first win on the picks?
Well, we've only had 3 tournaments, I think, JC.
Okay. Well,
but look, did you see who else was in the top 10?
Yeah, I did see the Siwoo Kim was right
Okay.
there for you. Siwoo Kim was right there, and I'm not taking Wyndham Clark until I see something from that guy. He is just and
He's
Shoffley.
terrible.
What's wrong with Xander Shoffley? What the hell's wrong with that guy?
Xander used to be money, man.
What happened to him? Did he just give up?
No, it's just golf.
It's just golf.
Sometimes I wake up and go, what hell happened to my golf game?
But it never happens to Scott Scheffler.
He's one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time.
It never happens to Scott Scheffler. He was a non-factor for 3 days of that 4-day event, and last day he's right there making a charge. I think shooting 64. He shot 64 yesterday. So in the final round, that guy is unbelievable.
Kanye Ron on YouTube brought to you by Plum says, Shane, do you volunteer for the Gators Invitational like a scorekeeper? I don't. I volunteer my time on the Gator Golf Booster board. We do have a bunch of volunteers that do that, but I'm going to play golf at a different venue.
You're not going to go and watch the fighting Gators? Really? You don't want to see Parker Bell play golf?
It depends on what time we play, JC, but my whole group's ready to play somewhere else.
Okay.
we got to go compete.
Okay.
We got to go compete.
No. That's this weekend, you said?
Yes. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
How good is Oklahoma State? Are they good?
I mean, JC, they're good every year.
They're always good.
They won a national title last year. I'm sure.
And by the way, you said last week, nobody beats Oklahoma in softball. There was a team last year that beat them. So
I didn't say that.
Yeah, no, you just said it in jest. It was just, Oklahoma. Yeah, and you're right. Nobody beats Oklahoma, but last year they did lose.
Well, Texas did. Texas is #1 in America.
Texas beat them last year. That's right.
Yeah. Monty on Titan or text line. Saturday UF was not nearly as effective in the half court as the fast break. I believe that this might be our Achilles heel. This is where we really missed last year's guards when we play a team with a big front court. That's true, but we can run with anybody. And I'm a big believer, push the ball. Push the ball.
Yeah. I agree with that.
It's a lot easier to score when there's fewer defenders than it is in half-court offense. And
you always get a whistle when you head to the basket, don't you? I mean, don't you always get a whistle when you head to the basket? So I'm with you there, 1,000%. The old Boston Celtics way of just going straight to the hoop. Just don't even, just go right at it. And Florida can do it. How tall is Boogie Flan? How tall is he as a guard?
He's about 6'4".
6'4", yeah. He looks big out there.
He's an NBA player. He's an elite defender.
He looks big out there.
Wow, I didn't even know this. So people are talking softball right now. Lady Gators go down in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
John says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, OU and Texas both lost this weekend in softball.
Oh, well, I
wonder who they play.
I'll still feel comfortable with that. I don't know. I did not see Oklahoma lose, but if he says they did, he says they did. He watched. But, maybe they were playing real teams too. Yeah.
And Texas Tech will be in the mix as well.
They will. They were the team that lost in the finals last year to Texas. So is that right?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Well, softball will be a great season for Florida. I think it's going to be great. Clint says he took all the plays, did not. We missed Drake May by 2 rushes. Okay, so Drake only. So is Clint telling me Drake May only had 4 rushes? I thought he had a lot more than that. I didn't check my graded picks. I was going to wait to do that tomorrow, but it looked good. A lot of green. We live in Greenland, not Iceland, so that's important. So big game for Florida Wednesday at Georgia. I think that's going to be tougher than it was at A&M for the Gators. But the Gators, listen, they beat them already once, so probably beat them again.
Yeah, it'll be a track meet. I'm talking serious track meet up there.
Yeah.
Electronics World Integration and Design Specialist for smart home automation and entertainment. Let Electronics World bring the Florida Gators basketball, baseball, softball, and the NBA to your living room. Electronicsworld.com.
Why would you think, QB, that a dog's MRI exam costs $3,200? Why would you think that?
A dog one?
A dog. So I'm taking my dog.
Call my man Joe at Titan MRI and see if he can do the dog.
Well, it cost me $300, $400, whatever. For some reason, these veterinary specialists want $3,200. They have to put them under anesthesia.
Call Stinger. Maybe he can get you a deal somewhere.
Well, here's how I'm going to handle it. This is what you do, and here's a little life tip for everybody. You go to places like this that just come up with these arbitrary prices for something. You say, you know what? I got X amount of dollars. What can you do for me with that? Because it's still a business at the end of the day. And I bet you may save yourself some money. So I'm gonna walk in there today. He wants to charge me $3,200 for the dog MRI. I'm gonna say, look, my man, I think the dog's doing a lot better. She's chasing squirrels again. Maybe the eyesight's not all that messed up, but I got $1,500. What can we do with that? See what he says. See if he kicks me out or says,
Why 1,500? Why don't you say 1,000?
well, I was going to just give him a half price. I was going to give myself a half price deal.
Oh, discount? Okay.
Well, I mean, $30,000 for an MRI on a dog? Does that seem ridiculous to you?
Well, what's the difference between that MRI machine and the one Joe has?
Well, it's the animals don't take to it very well. You have to go. They have to go under anesthesia. That's the first thing. You and I do not have to go under anesthesia for an MRI. But how much is that?
Hole's small, you do.
Right. Well, so how much can that be? You know, the animals. It's just, my God, $3,000. That's we're gonna have a conversation with the doctor.
Brad on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel All, says, "What do you see in the upcoming game at Georgia?" I see it'll be a very competitive game. You can't take away what happened here with Georgia. Their big man got kicked. Their best big man got kicked out of the game. Within 5 minutes of the game starting. It'll be a tough challenge. I still think we lost.
They're going to win.
People forget we lost there last year.
Yeah, lost some games there last year. Another great game was Kentucky, Tennessee. Great comeback for the Wildcats. Took them, got lucky on that one. Had a great weekend, really. This is a great weekend. But Kentucky beat Tennessee. Tennessee's a good basketball team. I think Tennessee's a pretty damn good team.
Joey on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, says, "I guess I can't get discount financial advice." That would be the same, JC.
No. Joey, you have to stay awake when we're meeting, Joey. So that means you don't get to go to sleep. But I think hopefully I wouldn't put you to sleep either, Joey. But no, I do actually price my clients very fairly, I believe. I really do. Below industry standard.
Okay, Brent says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, OU lost to Arizona. Texas lost to Nebraska on Saturday. So I guess Jordy Ball's still there. Started at Oklahoma, transferred to Nebraska because she grew up in Nebraska. She's a star pitcher. I assume she's still at Nebraska. Okay. And then MSRK says, any surprise on Lindsey Vaughn?
Oh, I hated seeing that. That poor girl. But who's going to go down a hill like that with a busted ACL?
She felt pretty comfortable.
Just terrible. So that's it for her. But I tell you, that was funny because I'm glad he mentioned that real quick before we go. The Winter Olympics came on after the Super Bowl, and
I will not watch any of that.
Well, I got to be honest. I actually watched the figure skating. I'm not going to say it very loud, but I liked it. And we got
after what some of those, I don't know what sport those people on the comments that they talked about our country. I don't give a damn if they win.
Yeah, no, that was completely ridiculous. If you don't want to wear the uniform, don't.
Yeah, take your ass and go ski.
Go live right. Go ski in France. Enjoy the southern Alps of France, or the Pyrenees. But no, I agree with you right there. That was unfortunate and so unnecessary. Kid's from Oregon. He's from Western Oregon. I think that's all you need to know.
What is he? A snowboarder?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, one of those. I don't even know since when was that even an Olympic sport, honest to God. But those guys really just did not do themselves any favors, I think. And it's true. If you don't want to wear the uniform, then don't wear it, and don't compete, and stay your ass in France. It's a great place. You'll love it there. But I think it was fun to watch the figure skaters because I was so bad down on figure skating because I can't stand the way it's judged. I don't understand it, but it doesn't mean that it's not good. They're incredibly talented skaters. My God, one girl from Plano, Texas, a gold medal with a team event. And then, I thought our downhiller, Breezy from Jackson Hole, Wyoming, wins the gold in the downhill. And, watching that insanity as they go down the hill at 80 miles an hour on a slope like this is just crazy to me. And Lindsey Vaughn's a great Olympian and a great American hero in terms of skiing, but you can't do it on one leg. And she tried to do it on one leg, and so she crashed at the top. So luckily she didn't gain or achieve the ultimate speed as she went down the hill. It happened to her up top, but there was no way she's getting down that hill. It's too bad to see. And so we won't be seeing her anymore, but she had a great career. She won a gold medal in Vancouver.
Jeff wanted me to let you know on Facebook, the Olympics are in Italy.
Right. Where did I say they were?
I think you said France.
No, I said the guy can go live in France. I know where the damn Olympics are in Cortina. I know exactly where it is in Italy, but the idiot can go live in France. He can go hang out with the French, defeated country, 1941. But yeah, go for it. Go live in France, dude. And yes, the Olympics are absolutely in Italy. And I love the Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgiana Meloni.
We got to get Sky Carter. JC, have a good day.
Right on, bro.
That's JC joins us on the Titan More Highline, courtesy of Comfort Temp after JC's rant about France and Italy and everything else. We're going to get Carter from FloridaGators.com. You're watching and listening to PodUp Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Linderos Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics. Gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Comfort Temp, Florida Cracker Oyster, Electronics World, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Advocare, MG&A Wealth. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to advertise, call my man Freddie, 352-284-3733.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, plus you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
On April 7th, 2025, Gator Nation reached the mountaintop as Florida won the national championship in basketball. Now, relive every thrilling moment with Franz Beard's new book, The Golden Season, the unforgettable story behind Florida's historic 2025 title run. Feel the passion, the drama, and the glory all over again. Available now at Spurriers.com. Click the shop tab. That's Spurriers.com.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Pouncey, and this is my twin brother Marquise Pouncey, and this is Life After Football.
Let's go. We are the owners of Tropical Distillery, and JF Hayden's is our liqueur brand.
We have 5 different flavors: a mango, a lychee, an espresso, citrus, and key lime pie. We pride ourselves on not only being a Florida-made brand, but also a cocktail solution. With that being said, cheers,
and go Gators.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Gallo Car Wash is locally owned by UF alum and the only car wash that provides NIL opportunities to Gator athletes. Locations on Northwest 13th Street, Wilson Road, and coming soon in Jonesville and the city of Alachua. Back to the Titan More Highline, courtesy of Comfort Temper man Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. Good morning, Scott. How you doing, man?
Shane, good morning, man. I do not have a Super Bowl hangover because I stopped watching at halftime, so I'm pretty fresh this morning.
Did you do some salsa dancing at halftime?
No, I just didn't watch. I mean, I was telling my wife this probably Super Bowl was the least interested I've ever been in a Super Bowl. And maybe it's just my station in life. I don't have any rooting interest. And the Drake May Sam Darnold quarterback matchup, I remember my first Super Bowl I ever covered was Kerry Collins against Trent Dilfer. And I was thinking that might be the worst suit. And both of those guys were decent quarterbacks, but it's not Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm. Well, the defenses were outstanding, no doubt about that. Scott, let's start with Gator stuff. Softball does what they normally do to start the season down there in Tampa. Anything stand out from those wins down there? I mean, Rothrock seems like she's healthy and pitched really well.
Yeah, I think the biggest sign was that, they got solid contributions from all the names that fans are used to, uh, Eva Brown, you mentioned Rothrock, obviously Shoemaker, Jocelyn Erickson. They all had nice weekends, and they used that tournament, for several years now to go down and kind of get warmed up. And I think it was a good sign to go down there and win 5 games. So I'd imagine Tim Walton, I'm sure he has some tweets he'd like to make, but he's got to be pretty happy with that start, considering they beat Michigan down there, and a good start for the Florida softball team.
Yeah, USF was always in the tournament and has a
Yeah.
good team. So they do what they do. Gymnastics now, that's kind of the shocker of the weekend, I think, among Gator sports, going to Columbia, Missouri and not performing very well.
Yeah, they had an off night on some routines, and it's weird because I was thinking after the win over Arkansas. I mean, this team just looked so good a week ago at the O Dome, and I think it's a very, very talented team, one of the best in program history. But they go out on the road, and they kind of lay the proverbial egg, and now they come home, and guess who they have? They have number one Oklahoma. So this was it was going to be highly anticipated regardless. But I thought that, Florida would go out to Missouri and win, and both teams would be coming in undefeated. But it happens. We'll see how the Gators respond. I think Jenny Rowland, after the meet the other night, said, look, this isn't going to define us. It defined us this weekend. It's not going to define our season. And I really do believe this Gators team has an opportunity to do it this year. There's been some teams where the last few years really talented, but I wasn't sure. This team, Sky Blakely and Caleb DeCello, they have the talent. So we'll just see if they can execute under pressure.
So OU's been in the league. This is year 2, right? They haven't been to the O Dome before, right?
They have, but I don't know if they were SEC members then, because they've been perennial power in the sport
Right.
for a long time. And ESPN likes the Florida Oklahoma matchup, so I do know they've been here. I don't know if as an SEC member, but it's going to be. I would expect a packed house on Friday, and,
Oh,
and we'll see if Florida can get back. Keep doing what they were doing in those first few meets.
yeah. Cranks up this weekend against UAB, a 3-game series, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Scott, I know you're a baseball guy. You're going to be covering the baseball team a lot. The people that I've talked to close to the program really like this pitching staff.
Yeah, I think with Liam Peterson and obviously Aiden King, that gives Florida a couple of established starters at the top of the rotation. And I think those guys really got better as last year went on. And the pitching and defense, that's been the mark of the program around Kevin O'Sullivan. He's entering his 19th year, and I don't think that's going to be any different. We met with him on Friday, and he talked about how, you can't rely on the 3-run homers much anymore in college baseball. So I do think you'll see them speed, try to do some of the small things more. But at the same time, when you have those two guys up front, you're still searching for a third starter. But they usually emerge. He's got Luke McNeely in the back end of the bullpen. Jackson Barbary. So you got some really good talent. But it does start with those two frontline pitchers on the mound, and that's probably as two good ones as you'll have around the country with any team.
Amy's question for you regarding baseball on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, says, Scott, do you think the return of Tom Slater will be a calming influence on Sully this baseball season?
Well, I think it certainly has that potential. I think that's kind of what he's here for. He's an older guy, we're about Sully's age, and he's, I think, got a different personality than Sully does. And, we did talk with Kevin O'Sullivan on Friday for the first time since his personal leave of absence and the incident last summer at up in South Carolina. We know he's got a 3-game suspension, so he won't actually be coaching this weekend. He said he'll be watching it from home. Then he'll get back in there. But Tom Slater's Sully called him just a bright baseball guy. I mean, this guy's worked at all levels, including the big leagues. So he brings a lot of experience. He's seen it all, and evidently he's a excellent hitting coach. So I think that's going to be his emphasis in terms of what he teaches and stuff. But I do think it will be a balance with Sully. And Sully said himself, he's trying to he was kind of reflective the other day, and one of his things is he wants to be more engaging with the players, maybe on a personal level than he's been. So I think he realizes that he can do some things better. But Slater comes in, and I think he's going to be a nice addition, just a contrast in styles.
Franklin says on YouTube, brought to you by Clark Pine, just can't get into softball. Frank, I promise you, if you go to one of the games, you will be hooked. It is one of the top sporting events on campus. Text on the Titan Mark text line from James. He says, Scott, out of all the new transfers, who do you like best? I guess he's referring to baseball.
Oh, baseball? Oh boy. I mean, I always mess up his name. The kid from Ole Miss, Ethan Solwick.
Yeah, so I heard a great story. Maybe Cardozo was telling me this story. The kid, I don't know if he grew up in Mississippi, but I think he's from an Ole Miss family. He signs with Ole Miss. The family moves and buys a home in Oxford, and he never played. And
Yeah.
somehow I don't know if we picked him up one of these summer leagues or whatever, but does that story sound correct? I may be
Yeah, I
butchering.
mean, he did. He was a freshman at Ole Miss last year and just couldn't crack their lineup and looked for a fresh start. And Florida was able to grab him. And he went off in the summer and had an unbelievable summer ball season up in, I think, the Northwoods League. And Sully did talk about him some the other day. I mean, he was a player that Florida was familiar with before he signed with Ole Miss. So even though he didn't play last year, they knew what kind of a talent he is, what kind of a prospect as a hitter he was. And when he became available in the transfer portal, they connected and he decided to come to Florida. Clearly a chance to play with, Colby Shelton leaving. Who else they lost? They lost another guy from last year. But there were some spots here at Florida. So they were really pleased with what he did in fall ball and the spring. And I would expect to see him in the middle of this lineup. And he's going to be a big part of this team.
Basketball, obviously, I had Chris on Friday, and I told him we were going to blow them out, and he laughed at me. Because he used the old coach. You know how hard it is to win on the road. I was like, they have zero chance of matching up with us. But boy, what a run they're going on right now. They're getting better. The guards are playing better. I know we need to shoot the three better, but they're doing a lot of other things that are allowing us to help win basketball games. Now, we got a stretch here to close out February that will probably be favored in every game, obviously, even on the road. Wednesday night against Georgia is going to be difficult. We lost there last year, but just what have you seen from this team? And you agree they can make a deep run, right?
I do. I just see a team that's kind of gelled as the season's going on. It's also a team where Todd Golden has had to, plug and play different parts to see which fit the most. And, he's, I think, got the right pieces right now because we knew this team, the strength was going to be on the interior with Condon and Chenier Liu and Hawk, and those guys are playing even better than expected in some ways. And now the guards are starting to play better. They're getting some bench production from guys that are going to need it. And Shane, I mean, a lot of the emphasis has been on the three-point shooting this year. And I don't know if this team's going to ever be a great three-point shooting team with the current makeup. But if they can, if they can get up to around 33, 35%, that'd be better. But as long as they defend the three strong and limit opportunities there, they're going to win the rebound battles most of the night. They play excellent interior defense. I mean, that sequence Chinley had last week, man. I mean, that was just what a hustle. And I mean, you don't coach that. It's just a guy who wants to do it, man. I mean, that's who he is inside. And I just really like the team. And, now they're going to go in a stretch here where they have to avoid what happened to Auburn a couple of weeks ago. They had won those 5 in a row. Todd Golden said, they felt pretty good about themselves and they slipped up against Auburn. Now they quickly got it going back. They didn't let that loss linger. I thought that was a very impressive victory at A&M. And I read in Chris's story, I think this is the latest in the season. The Gators have been atop the SEC regular season rankings since last winning in 14, which kind of shocked me. But, that's it just speaks to where they are right now. So I got to believe Todd Golden likes what he's seeing right now. They just have to continue to play the same way.
Yeah, they're an elite defensive team. Jeff on Facebook Live, brought to you by Bell Law, back to softball, says yesterday Townsend Thomas ran over Jameer Nelson's daughter and wasn't thrown out of the game, but Coach Walton set her for the rest of the game. Did he comment why he decided to bench her for that? I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not plugged in on that on a day-to-day basis on the softball. I did not see that, but interesting. It's something I'll have to ask and find out. Jameer Nelson, I guess he's talking about. Is that the former NBA player? I think he played
Yeah, I
for
guess. I
Magic.
didn't know. I guess his daughter played softball, I guess for USF.
Okay. I didn't know that, but huh. Got a little football mentality out there. It sounds like Walton's
That's
team.
right. I think she's our leadoff hitter now, plays center field.
Better not tell
So
Summerall. He may get her over to practice.
that's right. Kanye Ron on YouTube wants to know, are you covering gymnastics Friday night or season opener in baseball?
That's a really good question. I'm probably going to go to baseball, although I think gymnastics probably warrants, some coverage. I'll find a student, my writing intern. Maybe I'll send him to baseball.
If it was me, I
Yeah.
would go watch the Oklahoma Sooners in the O'Connell Center.
Yeah, it's always, there's always something about opening day you like in
Yeah,
baseball.
very true.
It is, but it's the biggest home meet of the season, so that's a good question. I haven't thought too deeply about it, but I guess I'm gonna have to do it because what I do know is I can't be in two places at one time.
That's right. Castaway hot sauce with real flavor, not just heat and vinegar. Built by Gators for Gators. Castaway hot sauce available at select Publix. A few more minutes with Scott Carter on the Titan MR hotline. Scott, I know I want to switch to football real quick. They're doing all their all-season stuff now. They'll be cranking up spring ball before we know it.
Yep.
You've been writing a lot of good pieces, Buster Faulkner, different coaches. What have you learned about Buster Faulkner that our listeners may want to go and read your piece, but what have you learned the most about him?
I mean, he's got this edge to him, man. He's a little bit like Summerall in what I call, I don't know how to explain it. Football people know this. I mean, he's just a ball coach, man. He's old school. I tweeted this the other day. I mean, those two guys, you can just tell by being around them for 2 minutes, you're like, oh, these guys, man, they love ball. I bet you they just sit around talking ball all the time. They're gonna turn over every rock they can to win at Florida. And Faulkner, I've always found, Shane, you kind of know this because you've been around the game. A lot of times your best coaches are guys who were average players or marginal players because what success they did have, they had to really work for. And Faulkner has that kind of background. He was a quarterback in high school who won a state championship on a team that mostly ran the ball. He gets to Valdosta State. He adjusts to a passing offense and leads them to a championship game. And, he's just one of those guys, got that scrappy mentality. I think he doesn't cut corners in the way he coaches. The details are very important. And I think you're going to see that be reflected, on Saturday. I think one of the things that all good teams have, and I mean, Indiana was the perfect example. No team's perfect, right? But Indiana, man, and all those Saban Alabama teams and other great teams, the little things very rarely bit them in the butt. Whereas, we've seen Florida get bit in the butt a lot the last few years by the little things. And that's where I just sense from talking to Faulkner and the way he talks about the game and coaching his quarterbacks and running the offense, this guy, he's going to have the details buttoned up. It still comes down to execution, but
yeah. I just think the thing about the staff, they do love football. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
But they're also just like normal people. And they like to, they have hobbies. I don't think people really understand what I mean by this, because some people, all they want to do is lock themselves in a coach's office all day and all night. And sometimes that works for people, but more times than not, you need to get away from it. And when I say these guys are just normal guys, I think it's maybe hard for our listeners to understand what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
But
Well, I
really
do know
like him a
that
lot.
Faulkner, he said he likes to get out and golf. He likes to compete on the golf course.
Yep.
Brad White told me he's also a golfer, but he doesn't like to play with guys who take it really serious because he's like, dude, this is supposed to be our fun. So he's going to lose to Faulkner if they play, probably. But I think that's their hobby. Those two coordinators. I know I've heard some other guys on the staff like to play golf, but yeah, you got to get away, man. I mean, whatever you do in life, and I do think this whole the last, I don't know, the culture and coaching for the last 10, 15 years. It's like you said, it's like yourself away. We're gonna outstudy the opponent, and that's gonna lead us to victory. No, it never does. What leads you to victory is having your guys ready and they go execute on Saturdays.
Yep. You just got to freaking get your plan, go execute, have fun doing it. Scott, good stuff as always. You got any good articles you may be writing and going to put up on the website this week?
I do, I'm going to have some more on the football, the new staff. Some of those guys are going to be available again. We wrote about Rusty Witt, the new strength coach, over the weekend. Um, Obviously, baseball, gymnastics, like we talked about. Chris has basketball covered. People will be paying attention to softball. I sat down with, I always loved getting with these elite athletes that I don't talk too much. So I did with Josh Liendo, the swimmer, the other day. The Olympics are going on, the Winter Olympics, and Josh, he's
We
already
don't have
been.
anybody in that.
No, but Josh has already been in 2 Summer Olympics, and he's going to be in LA in 28. And he's got a chance at the SEC championships next week and the NCAA championships later to leave Florida as the most decorated swimmer in program history. And when you consider
Wow.
Caleb Dressel, Ryan Lochte, Connor Dwyer, that's saying something.
I say this every year, swimming and track
Yeah.
last the entire year, it seems like.
It does. It stretches out, and I even get my calendar sometimes mixed up because the SEC championships are coming up next week, and you're like, man, in February? But yeah, that's when. And then the NCAAs are later in the spring, and then of course they go right from the elite ones to the World Championships to the U.S. Championship. So yeah, if you're a swimmer, you very rarely get to put your Speedo away.
That's right. Scott, good stuff as always. Appreciate your time, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
See you guys.
Yes. Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. You can follow him on Twitter at GatorsScott. Injuries occur whenever and however, and it's never convenient for sprains, strains, and minor fractures. UF Health Orthocare makes it convenient for you 7 days a week, including evenings. Walk-ins are welcome. That is UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Thanks for everybody joining the program today, JC and Scott as well. We'll be here tomorrow. Don't forget, Wednesday we'll have Coach JC Deacon, the men's golf coach, talking about his team, which is stacked, and the Gator Invitational coming up this weekend at Bostic. And then hoping to have Coach Kevin O'Sullivan on as well. If not this week, next week. Have a great day, folks. Take care.